It is the Riot Podcast. Good day and welcome to the Monday edition. Although I keep seeing people text in and say they're way behind. So who knows when you're listening.
I know. It really depends. Some of you guys stay right on top of it and others, you come back and it seems like you catch up for a month or so.
Mm-hmm. Well, it shows why it's so important for us to talk about the daily topical news.
Yeah.
Because if we talked about stuff from a couple of weeks ago, then by the time you listening in the podcast, it'd be months old. So
you'd be so far behind.
Yeah, you'd really be out of touch.
Well, it is hard too because you guys text us a lot, commenting about something you heard in the podcast, and it's really hard to jog your memory of when did we talk about that or what?
What are they talking about? What is this?
It's weird.
I said that
because we'll have things like today. We talk about rentahitman.com.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one where I put that in. It sounded vaguely familiar to me, but as soon as I show Nikki, she's like, oh, yeah, I remember that happened last year. Didn't we already talk about this?
Yeah.
So sometimes, in other words, we talk about so many things. Sometimes you guys will text in and a couple days afterwards and be like, "Oh, what the heck is up with that?" And we won't even remember what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but you talk about a Hitman story from a year ago, and Nikki's like, "Oh yeah,
I remember that one."
Yeah.
Well, here is a new set of stories and conversations that we'll also have a hard time remembering as we, add it to the list of podcast topics.
It'd be a good thing to do. Somebody should text in and just be like, remember that thing you talked about on the podcast, and just make it totally up.
It's hard when people do that in person because then they're looking at you and you're like, oh, don't make a blank face. I can't remember anything.
I know. We just have to have a stock. Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
That was so wild. It was so funny when you said that.
Let me go to my Google Drive and
let me see what this article said here that I was giving you factual knowledge on.
What's the items we've chosen for the day?
Yeah. So today, I think this story is interesting because this is where I think I am very different probably from you two, where restaurants are now pushing us to order from kiosks, which I hate.
You do?
Oh, I hate the kiosks too.
Okay, good. Thank goodness.
I didn't want to sound like an old man when we were talking about it.
Come on, get with it, guys.
I want to be able to tell my order to a person.
Let me ask you this, Isaiah, because I think you'll be sympathetic to me on this. When you walk in, Wendy's is the worst offender. You go into some Wendy's, they have the kiosks out in the back by the fireplace.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, they're by the bathrooms.
You walk up to the counter where you would order with a person, and they have a giant screen in front there. They want you to order, and you have to be like, to get somebody to come over.
I'd like you to take my order, please.
That is egregious.
I just hate that if I order at the kiosk, it's me versus the computer. So if they mess it up, it's like, oh, it must have been me. But if it's a person, I can be like, I told you that. I said that. I wanted it plain.
It's so
and I don't get it plain. It's on you. It's on you.
Listen, I went to McDonald's over the weekend because I wanted a Big Mac. And so I got it. And it was a mess. They didn't have enough workers to have the money window open.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to the second window. I handed my money. The lady just kind of stared there for a moment. And then she went to go, she shut the window and get the stuff. And then she came back out and had to double check which one was mine. Then she asked me how much money I gave her. She didn't even remember. And then she...
$100.
She gave me a drink then because I had to remind her I also ordered a drink. And the ice was all melted. I think it'd been sitting there from several orders before. It is a mess if you're going through any place right now.
Yeah,
so
totally.
a kiosk will at least take some of the stress off.
Well, wait a minute. One more thing on these kiosks. The kiosk does the exact same thing as the mobile app. You can order online. So why even need the kiosk? Just say order on your phone. We don't need. They said it's saving money on having workers because we can just pay a monthly thing for this kiosk. Just don't even put the kiosk in. You save even more money.
No, there's some legality where you have to have someone, because what if your phone is out of this or you don't
go
have
talk to a person.
They don't want to have anybody there.
I don't want to talk to a computer.
I don't want to.
I don't want the computer. I don't want the machine.
Oh my god!
I'm not that old. I've had a smartphone my entire life.
You're not embracing it all.
I was born long after computers were invented. I just want every once in a while to talk to a person.
You guys listen and tell us what you think too.
We also discuss just the unintelligence of children.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get kind of twisted on the story because I think just children are menaces. Like, I know they're just little gremlins, they're the worst. I think maybe they're just putting up a front on us. They're a lot smarter than maybe we think they are, and they're trying to play this off.
They're throwing us for a loop.
Exactly, as if they don't know what's going on, so they can keep their little schemes up, you know?
Have you ever watched like shows made for children? It's always like they're trying to overthrow adults, right? So maybe they're really a lot smarter than we let on, as Isaiah is saying,
Menace.
and they're trying to, it's all part of a big, long scheme to overthrow us. But the problem is, once the scheme ever comes to fruit, the kids that were plotting it are grown-ups.
Yes,
so
they're too big.
Yeah.
That's why it never happens.
They need to have a shorter term scheme worked out.
Yeah, we talked about that. We also talked about just the friendship in here. It's just been so crucially broken.
You can feel it, right? You can cut it with a knife.
The tension now in here is just unreal.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe.
There's nothing else to say because I don't want to spoil
it.
the
No,
issue.
I will tell you this, though. It is funny because, Isaiah, you're only 23.
Yeah.
But now that something has happened, you look back to being 23.
Yes.
If that.
If that.
You're now looking younger
I
again.
loved it. I look so good
enjoy
again.
the podcast, and thank you guys for enjoying or listening to what we have. And make sure you text and say hi at 877-2-RADIO-U.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Hudson, Nikki,
The Riot
on Radio U.
Did anyone watch any Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movies over the weekend? Because I know Red Notice came out.
You're right.
That's the Netflix one with him and Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot.
Thank you to the TikTok that spoiled something that was in the movie.
It did?
I don't know if I feel like I need to watch it.
Did you experience this? Every time I opened TikTok over the weekend, every single time, it was the same ad where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson starts off saying, I don't even know what he started off saying, but I'm making the ultimate trailer. And then I skipped through it that's as fast as it would let me go to whatever the next thing is. I don't know what he does after that.
It was
but
a big
every
push.
single time. Mm-hmm. And it didn't help. I didn't watch Red Notice, but maybe some did. Also, Jungle Cruise dropped on Disney Plus, which I know I said I would watch, and guess what I didn't do?
You didn't watch it yet?
Didn't watch Jungle Cruise.
This is just the first weekend. It doesn't mean you failed it. You got plenty of time.
There's time. I only missed it in theaters. It's not even one I feel a responsibility to watch. It's just the type of movie you think eventually you'll probably wind up getting around to, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Well, thanks to Sam for texting in. Said he watched Jungle Cruise on Disney Plus last night. It was awesome.
Good for you getting stuff done.
That was, look at that.
Yeah.
You're watching a movie.
Uh-huh.
You're getting things off your queue.
And I'd
Very
like
good.
to think we played a part in that by reminding Sam that it came out on Friday if he was listening.
But if anybody watched Red Notice, tell us what you thought of that one.
Yeah, well, now if you watch a movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you might have to watch it in a whole new light. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this out of my mind, but he confirmed in a recent interview something that originally was found out in 2017. Mm-hmm. He confirmed that when he works out, he pees in water bottles.
He does?
He does.
Yeah,
it's true.
That's been a much talked about rumor for many years. So he says yes. Now it's weird until you hear the reason, and then it's a tiny bit better.
No, it's not.
He said that where he works out, there's no bathrooms. I think he travels with a pretty big, massive tent, his own workouts thing, and then that kind of goes around with him. But they don't have a bathroom with it.
Well,
so
just walk outside then.
He reuses water bottles and then, recycles or throws them out afterwards. Because he has to go to the bathroom several times during a training thing.
Sure.
Because he hydrates way more than we do.
We're over here just trying to get through one water bottle. And he's got, when you're working out like that, you got to stay hydrated.
He does.
But he says... Okay, so he goes, the headline is true. I do pee in water bottles, but he wants to give context. So he says, it's not a water bottle that I've actually purposed solely for water that you wash and you clean when you're done using it. These are just bottles I'm no longer using. That's not what I take issue with.
Like our RadioU water bottle?
Oh, yeah.
This one right here? It's not that. It would just be a plastic water bottle, like a disposable one.
That doesn't make it better. That's not the thing I had a problem with.
Just say he's peeing in water bottles?
Yeah. What?
I I guess that doesn't faze me as much.
Listen
we've
to
been
me.
around a lot of band members and a lot of tours and a lot of things, and I
It's
think
still gross.
it is gross.
I mean, hey, we've all been there, but but not routinely.
Not
Not
routinely.
routinely over and over again, especially when you're The Rock. Nikki, you're saying he travels around. He's got a setup. Well, make a bathroom a part of the setup.
I agree, but that takes plumbing. That's different.
No, just get like a tent, all kinds of people go camping and they figure it out. You dig a hole, something. You can find a different option than going in a water bottle.
See, I think he works out way harder than we've ever experienced, ever would dream of working out. So we don't even know.
So we can't even set down the weights?
I don't know what that's like. And to me, it's probably weird because that means he pees in a bottle several times during a workout.
Yeah.
Is that one bottle? Is that many?
If he has to go dump it out, then he might as well just go to the bathroom.
I don't know if he dumps it out. I don't know what he does with it.
Or is it a
but
really big bottle?
That's what I don't know. I don't know. Let's just have this be his thing. This is his little quirk that he has.
It's setting, even if it is, let's say it's his secret to working out, that's a bad precedent to set for the rest of us. Because who doesn't want to look like The Rock, right? So if his secret is, I get so into my workouts that I have to pee in a water bottle because I can't go to the bathroom because I can't lose whatever I'm doing here, then look, people can't even be trusted in the gym to wipe stuff down. You are going to start saying, I got to pee in a water bottle. I want to be like The Rock.
But remember,
we can't do this.
It's his gym.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
How do you feel about digital ordering kiosks, the interactive ordering screens at restaurants? What do you think about that?
It's like a game at your table. You're like, what am I going to order?
Man, that's something I haven't thought about in a while.
Well, some of them have games on them.
If you go to the Olive Garden, and I just haven't been to any restaurant like that in so long. But you're right, where they try to get you to play Candy Crush at the table or whatever. As if we all don't have phones to do that on already.
It is easier because then you can order, you can pay, you can do that stuff. And then like for fast food, if you go in, there's tons of kiosks.
Yeah.
And then also at some, when you go through the drive-thru, you can enter it in yourself too.
I've never seen that.
That one's nice.
But the headline here is that because of the labor shortage, now fast food restaurants particularly are looking even more to the digital ordering kiosks. Apparently, like one of the companies that makes them, it's called Grubber, which it's a horrible name. It's Grubbrr. What are we doing?
Listen, it's only the name. Like you won't have to interact with the name if you're using it. But they say restaurants are able to still take orders, that they're cheaper than hiring a physical person to do the job. And more places are moving to that than having workers.
And what's funny is it's cheaper than hiring a worker. A few years ago, that was something people were upset about. It's like, the digital kiosks are taking away our jobs. And now it's like, can someone just please take my order? I'll let it be a screen.
I'll go in and write down my own order if I have to. But they say the kiosks usually cost about $2,500, and it's about $200 a month for software. So it can save a restaurant around $6,000 a month on labor costs. So that is something that you'll see more and more now. Fast food restaurants utilize even through drive-thrus and stuff.
Now, I know that they're saying this, but have you experienced that one, to be able to use a digital ordering kiosk? I guess you say you've seen some in drive-thrus. I've never seen that. But so to get to the ones in the store, they need to allow you to go in the store.
That's different. You got to go in.
And around here, at least, they don't really allow that.
Well, a lot of places are closed inside.
Yeah.
But if you can, this says that if you go in and order from a kiosk, you're 12 to 22%, you're ordering that much more in food at digital kiosks because there's no one there to feel ashamed.
Do you really?
When taking your order, have you never had that feeling?
No.
Oh, no?
I've never, usually when I go to a fast food restaurant, I have a plan.
Well, any restaurant, period.
Yeah.
So if no one's there.
Because we look at the menus before we go, no matter whether it's fast food that we've been to a million times or whether it's somewhere completely brand new, we always look at the menu. So, yeah, I always have a plan. I am never, it doesn't matter what the person is looking at me. I've already decided that I'm comfortable with whatever I'm ordering, and that's all I need.
Oh, no, not for me. I'd be like, hey, at McDonald's, we're like, I can have a sandwich and a few nuggets, too. We're like, of course I will. No one's there to tell you.
That never even crosses my mind.
I'm not the only one, because it says with this that you're more likely to order more stuff if no one's there to take your order.
Yeah, I guess so.
If you're doing it in your own private order, then it's fine.
I might be more likely to do the customizations where it's just like, you know what? I don't need all those vegetables on there. But the truth is, I'm probably just doing that anyways as well, because I've come to accept, what do I care what the McDonald's worker thinks if I don't put lettuce on my burger?
You don't care at all.
Who are they to judge?
Well, at this point, there's no one to even take the orders.
Yeah.
So we have a real shortage, at least in our area, where they're not even opening.
You know, the real irony, though, is, speaking of McDonald's, I don't know if it's every McDonald's, but if you go into the McDonald's that's closest to me, you go in, it's one of the few fast food places you actually can go in, and they have the digital kiosks.
Yeah.
The digital kiosks say, we don't, please go to the register. It's not turned on.
Not working.
It just plays a loop of like a McCafe coffee pouring and some fries falling on a plate.
Well, something's broken.
And then it says, go to the front. They never have them turned on.
I love it. They're like, no, actually, could you just go around to the drive-thru?
Yeah,
just go outside.
Right. We spent all these money on these, and they're not even doing anything for us. Much like our actual employees. Just,
all right.
Just kidding, McDonald's employees. Just please make my fries.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Did anybody else get anything done over the weekend?
Did anybody have a eventful, like you got all your stuff done?
Yeah. Did you do check off a to-do list, or just have something fun go on? Because for I don't know about you, Nikki, but for me, I got the Christmas lights up like I promised.
We did it.
Yeah,
Yay!
we're leading the way.
We said we were going to on Friday, and we did it over the weekend.
Yeah, now this might be slightly embarrassing. So I set up the lights almost entirely on Saturday. I had a few things I had to run out and get yesterday after I, had the initial setup. There's always a few things, and it's still a work in progress. But that's why I like to set up this weekend so that, by Thanksgiving, everything will be in order. Out. And then you can just enjoy it all the way till Christmas. But the embarrassing part is, I didn't leave the house after the sun went down either Saturday or Sunday.
Sure.
So I don't know what the rest of the neighborhood is really looking like as far as Christmas lights go. But
yours are
I know
on?
from where I sit, I don't see any other houses that are lit up yet. I'm leading the way in my neighborhood. But they're there. They're good to go.
I was very happy. I also did not go out during evening hours.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know, but I turned mine on starting Friday night. I was like, I don't care. I'm having Christmas lights on.
Yep.
We're just going to do it. And when I came into work this morning, because I normally leave my lights off in the morning hours.
Yeah, I have mine set to a timer.
But I saw 2 or 3 other houses on the way outside of my neighborhood that had their Christmas lights on, even in the morning time.
Yeah. Oh, man, they must have money to spend.
Who can afford to light your house the whole night? But it was nice to see. So I was glad they did that.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I should.
You're not alone. You're leading the way. In a way, we should have them on in the morning, because then we would get to enjoy them when we leave for work.
But if you time it just right, you only have to turn them on for like 10 minutes. If you put it around the time that you leave, and your neighbors are like, why did the Christmas lights come on for 10 minutes so early in the morning?
And it's like that scene in Christmas Vacation where, the lights turn on, they're turning off and on, but every time they turn on, it's so bright. The whole neighborhood is like basically awoken. That's how to be at my house.
That's it.
I'd be waking up the neighbors across the street.
Well, you did a good job with your
4
lights,
a.m.
if that's what's going on.
Yeah, no, they look good.
If anybody else spent the time over the weekend, we are, at least the Riot, we are full on ready to go for Christmas.
Did you do anything else? Did you get anything else
Nah,
fun?
I mean, I did the inside lights. Well, okay. I say I. I mean, I kind of pointed where they go.
Oh, yeah.
And I put the ornaments on the tree.
Queen
that
Nikki.
was it. That was about it. But yeah, Eric has it all set up to where for our Google Home, you just say turn on Christmas, and it turns on all of our Christmas lights inside.
Oh, wow.
And then when you're done, you're like, turn off Christmas, and that's it.
Nice.
Turns it off each night.
So I didn't do the inside yet, but I was going to say two things in regards to I looked for your Little Debbie when I went out. Your Little Debbie Christmas tree cake ice cream for us to get more of that.
We enjoyed last week.
It was gone.
It's sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
We really didn't help our case because we're telling you guys to go try it. And so you guys are
saying,
buying it up.
I don't know if this is going to be around because it's so good. And then guess what?
What?
We're feeding the machine, feeding the beast of not being able to get the ice cream that we crave. So I didn't bring any for you, but I wanted to let everyone know I tried the Baconalia pizza or whatever it is. You know, like the one at Papa John's where they have the whole strips of bacon.
You did?
Yeah. And it's basically just a regular pizza.
Look at that. Yay!
Yeah.
Dude, you had an eventful weekend there.
Yeah, I did. Well, I was celebrating.
You had pizza. You got to put your Christmas lights up. Look, that's as hard as we party there.
Yeah, that's it. We had a good time.
Why pay for so many streaming services that you don't really care about when you can not really care about the Riot for free? Radio U.
Did you have tall Zoom energy?
Is that like, can I have energy during a meeting on a Zoom call, or what's tall mean?
Like physically tall.
Oh, like do you put off tall energy?
Do you seem to be tall in your video chat calls?
Well, I am taller in real life, so I guess maybe, yeah, probably.
Yeah, you think?
Do I have tall Zoom energy? I hate Zooming. Like, I don't know. I don't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
But you're right. I guess, what do you put off when you're on a Zoom call?
Yeah, they talk about this, that some people have tall Zoom energy where they seem to be very tall in their, and when you're doing conference calls on Zoom for your job. And then as people have been returning to the office,
you find out
people are realizing that person isn't as tall as they seemed to make themselves out to be on
funny.
Zoom. But what is it about? Like, what makes you seem tall?
I guess
Could it all just be the camera angle, or because they're calling it energy, as in if it's the way you act? How do you act tall?
Well, you just act. At first, I thought, well, maybe it's confident, but that's not for like tall. That's not physically like for if you're tall or shorter.
Yeah.
I think it'd be more important.
You just fake it till you make it?
It's people putting off like skinny energy.
You think?
Like if you look smaller than you are in
They have
real
a nice
life.
camera angle.
Yeah, you're like, I want this to be the most flattering angle as possible.
The lighting is really great, and then you see them in real life.
You meet your coworkers in real life, and it's not maybe how their filter made them appear in the actual Zoom calls.
But I feel with if somebody's putting off tall Zoom energy and then you see them in real life, they're shorter, you can broach that subject.
Oh,
if somebody's way larger,
no, you can't say anything.
You can't say anything about that.
Actually, Hudson, I'll tell you, don't even say anything about the height thing, too.
You don't think?
That will not lead to a healthy going back to the office environment.
Yeah, you don't think so? Well,
No.
I was thinking when I was reading this that that's interesting because Zoom, it really levels the playing field in a lot of ways when it comes to height because everybody looks the same. And I would venture to say that a high percentage, whether you are tall, short, or in between, I don't think anybody's happy with their height. I mean, not that it's something you think about all the time, but if you're taller, I bet you a lot of times you wish you were shorter, and if you're shorter, you wish you were taller, and if you're in between, you just wish you were something. So
Just don't like
probably
anything.
taller. So I feel like everybody's a little insecure about their height.
Yeah.
So Zoom was a nice way of leveling that playing field where you didn't have to feel bad about it.
Based on this article, though, it does seem like it's skewed towards more if you fall under the shorter category for people who then meet you and realize you're not as tall as maybe you seemed.
How come nobody's talking about the short Zoom energy?
That's something, too.
Yeah, maybe there's some people that seem to be way shorter in their Zoom calls for some reason.
I never would have thought of that. So if you do your next meeting, a virtual one, are you putting off tall energy
Here's what
what?
Here's what you do for your Zoom meetings. you put the camera angle so that there's a bunch of space above your head, making it look like you're really short. And then when people meet you, they're like, wow, you're a lot taller than I thought.
You're like, thank you very much.
It's a nice way to just play the game a little bit.
Or they were just saying how in the next time you have a meeting, it's a fun sort of game to play of like, hey, everybody go around and say actually how tall you are.
Yeah. Guess the height. Whoa. Like you're at a carnival or something.
Welcome to The Riot, where you listen to us and that's it. It's pretty much a one-way street. The Riot. RadioU.
Feel like that was a good warning if you don't have anything nice to say, guys. As we talk about something between you two, let's watch what we say.
We're always cordial.
Okay, just making sure.
And it's all in good fun, but I think we should preface this by saying we're not doctors or nutritionists. We don't have any medical training whatsoever.
Yeah, but we read things.
We know what we're doing. Listen to me, all right? Just listen.
Articles.
You listen here, and you take it with a grain of salt,
We've got
what I'm about to say.
500 pages of research.
Yes.
We spent a weekend on.
I have briefly read this article.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to tell you exactly what it's telling you.
I'm ready
Vitamins
to tell you
don't
the
work.
highlights.
That's what it's telling you.
Now that's a big bomb to drop because I know like right around this time everybody starts to like pretend like that's going to help us during the cold and flu season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so you go out, you go buy a multivitamin and you just think like, that's it, I'm covered.
And as if you're actually going to remember to take that every day anyways.
Well, maybe I thought you just had to buy it. You don't
You
actually
just buy
have
it.
to.
Just the fact that it sits in your cabinet is
You're
enough.
protected.
That's the protection. Well, of course, if you do that, it's not going to do anything for you. But I have some research here, a story, and it is from USA Today where they were talking to, who is the doctor's name? I just want to make sure I give him credit so you know it's not just us saying this.
Isn't it Dr. Michael Dignault?
There we go. I'll take your word on that because I lost it in the article. But basically, they were talking to this doctor and asking if you get a cold or a flu, which vitamins, if any, or supplements actually will help you fight the cold or flu and make it shorter and more bearable for
Because
you.
you don't want to go to the doctor.
No. Because we're not going to the doctor. We can do it ourselves.
You don't want to go to the doctor. You don't want to stay home from work, even though you do, but you don't want to call out from work.
And so you're like, well, that's it. I have to go get something. So they say that like vitamins don't work, or what's the trick to it?
Let's start with zinc. So when it comes to zinc, that's one of the popular ones because if you get like Zicam, that's zinc. Like some things are just zinc tablets and stuff like that. And that's one that when just the common cold, you're supposed to take zinc, right? Well, scientific studies, according to this, consistently show that taking zinc acetate lozenges, which again, I think that's Zicam or whatever, they reduce the duration of a cold by 2 to 4 days.
Ooh.
Oh, they're good.
If you start within 24 hours of your first symptoms.
Well, you don't even know then.
Well, I mean, you can tell if you feel.
I guess maybe if you're feeling kind of bad.
Just any time, just take it.
All right, well, that one works.
Yeah. So the daily dose should not exceed 100 milligrams, though. Now, when it comes to vitamin C, this is a tricky one because that's the other thing. It's like, you got to take your vitamin C. That'll keep the colds and flus away. Well, in the studies that they've, this is through an analysis of 29 studies, vitamin C was shown to reduce the duration and severity of symptoms only if you take it daily all the time.
Oh, you have to already be taking it?
So,
well, I can't commit to that now.
Oh, no.
What?
I
can't do it.
emergencies
Yeah.
only.
In other words, me drinking my orange juice every morning is what's keeping me strong.
Hey,
So I
there
never
you
get
go.
extra
sick.
healthy.
Yeah, so there you go. But other than that, if you get sick and then you're like, well, I'm going to start taking emergency or drinking orange juice or just whatever it may be, you can't just all of a sudden shoot vitamin C into your system and it's going to help you at all.
Well, that's big pharmacy talking right there.
Yeah.
And I don't agree
They
with
want you to
that.
take it every day.
That's
They're like,
it.
well, the only way it's going to work is if you use our product daily. No.
Big vitamin.
It's Tropicana talking.
Yeah. Like, well, if you drink orange juice every single day and you never don't have a gallon in your fridge, you will stay healthy.
Well, what's the last one? Vitamin D is like that's the trifecta there.
Yeah, vitamin D, it says a moderate reduction in upper respiratory tract infections if you supplement with vitamin D. But it says most of the vitamin D we need comes from the sun. But unless you live in a very, very sunny area,
You're not getting
not
enough.
going to get enough from the sun only. So if you want to maybe naturally get it, you can get it through fish, eggs, and fortified dairy products. And it says most people would benefit from vitamin D from taking a supplement.
So you mean like milk? Is that what you're saying? If
I don't
you take
know. Is that
milk every day?
Vitamin D milk?
Actually,
Vitamin
they
D?
definitely show that all over the milk bottles,
Guys,
don't
all
they?
I know is if you're sick, you don't want to listen to anything we're saying.
No. Listen,
You do not want to.
my issue with this is it's pretty much saying that you need to take it regularly. But if you're one of those people that do like multivitamins or whatever and you take them every morning, that's perfectly fine and I support you. But I don't want you to tell me about it. I don't want you to be like, oh yeah, here are my multivitamins I take every single day. Worst kind of people. You can't show off your gummies in the morning. I'm taking Flintstone gummies too every day, but I don't have to show them off, all right?
Well, look then, if you're taking your gummies every morning, then you already are doing this daily.
Yeah, I'm doing it right, but I don't need to tell you guys I'm taking vitamins every day.
Your health will
You can tell because I'm going to show up to work every single day.
He
I'm
never
gonna
misses a day.
I take my meds daily every morning, actually.
I still have a problem when all of our vitamins are coming in gummy form.
Yeah. Well, they're coated in sugar, so that'll make me take it every day, right? I'm taking the children's version, of course.
Or you can just drink orange juice.
No, that's
got
your
all
take.
the sugar's all natural
There you go.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, have you ever heard of a website called rentahitman.com?
I remember this story.
Oh,
And it's actually interesting to see how long, because sometimes, we'll talk about something that someone does and they sit in jail and it'll be like 3 years later. But it looks like for this, it was about a year or so since this happened and now she's getting sentenced.
Yes.
But I absolutely remember this website.
Yeah. Well, you must have found out before it burned you, didn't you?
I'm not getting on there to try to hire a hitman, but it is fascinating when you find that something that's set up. And it's not police, I don't think, that set up this website.
Nope.
It's just someone who made it, and then they send information to the police when someone goes to the website to try to set up a hitman.
Yeah. It is. That was the eye-opening part to me. I don't really. Maybe I heard about this, but I don't remember it. So I didn't know rentahitman.com was fake, which explains why my wife is still here.
Because it didn't work. Hitman joke.
My wife came up with that joke, so don't nobody be mad at me.
Fine.
So rentahitman.com is run by somebody who's not actually associated with the police. But when this happened, the woman, her name is Wendy Lynn Wine, which is a great name. Wendy Lynn Wine. She is 52 years old, and last year she tried to take out a hit on her husband using rentahitman.com. Of course, the website is fake, and the owner of the fake website immediately contacted state police to get an undercover detective to help sort things out there.
Yeah, she wanted her ex-husband dead because she said that he stole money from her and she didn't want to go to jail. But I guess I didn't connect. I don't want to go to jail, but I want you dead.
Yeah.
So it went to the trying to hire a hitman, and it's taken this long, but did she plead guilty, it said?
Yes, she pleaded guilty Friday. She's going to be sentenced in January. She could face up to 9 years in prison. And this also makes me laugh not the part where she's charged with solicitation of murder.
Sure.
That's not funny, even though I just made a joke about it. But what is funny is the other charge she faces is using a computer to commit a crime.
Why is that so funny to you?
Because that's not, I know that it means something, but it also doesn't mean anything because your crime is that you committed a crime is basically what that's saying.
But you were using the computer you were using online to try to have something bad happen.
Yeah, it's almost making it sound like it's like the computer was an innocent bystander.
It was.
And why are you involving our precious computers? Like you're corrupting our computers.
It is.
Stop
It's a
using them to
charge.
commit crimes.
I always found it weird that, when you think about trying to commit this horrible crime,
Yeah, of course.
how much money does this normally run? And you put a down payment. So she had planned to put a $200 down payment and then the promise of total $5,000 for the hit.
To be clear, I don't know anything about hitmen, like anything really, except, what you've seen in movies and stuff. But I really, truly believe that if you're going to take a hit out on somebody, it's going to cost more than $5,000.
Maybe not.
Even if it's not a high profile, just a random guy.
But that's
think
the
it's
movie
gonna cost
world
more.
we live in, where it is a high profile first.
Well, you're killing a person. I guess maybe some people would just, they're going to kill people for free anyways. Might as well get paid for it.
Listen, now we're going down a very sad rabbit trail.
But I think though, the $200 down payment, that's what got her, right?
Yes,
because up
you
until
have to
that
exchange
point,
money.
she might have not technically committed a crime, or at least they might not have technical evidence against her. So in a way, I think it's hard to get people on these kinds of things because anytime it could be entrapment.
Yeah.
Right? So I wonder how they got around that this time.
Well, she wanted to do the down payment.
she entrapped herself by going to rentahitman.com.
Everything you love about The Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I want to see what you guys make of this study where researchers tested 176 children between the ages of 4 and 7.
Close enough.
Yes.
Close
Perfect.
enough. Yeah.
They found, in talking to these kids, they were asking them about all kinds of different foods and asking them where did the foods come from.
Yeah.
And what they found was kids don't know anything. These kids between the ages of 4 and 7, they have no idea what food what they're actually eating.
Sure.
They think these foolish kids think that cheese, hot dogs, chicken nuggets, shrimp, and hamburgers, those are plant-based, according to children.
Oh, that's sweet.
However,
They don't
many
know.
children did think that French fries were actually animal-based. So these kids are all messed up in the head.
They are.
And what do we make of this?
Well, I guess you just don't know. I'm sure, like, when we were younger, our parents didn't want to tell us, like, hey, what you're eating, that's death, and you caused it, and you killed that cow.
You killed the cow, and you killed the piggy, and all that.
It's all your fault, and so I think no one tells you anything until you can handle it.
Yeah. How old are you? How old do you have to be before you can handle knowing where a hot dog comes from?
Oh, I still have upset problems or sometimes.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on.
Wait. Okay.
I think of it as an older animal who was ready to go to heaven.
Yeah.
And he was happy or she was happy and they didn't feel anything at all.
See, I am just continually surprised by the lack of knowledge of children.
I know, right? They're way dumber than we
Like-
thought. I'll just say it.
At 5 years old, I feel like that's something that I had to have known. Maybe I was just an intelligent child, but
I don't
you'd
know.
think that at least their parents would have explained that to them. I don't think this is on the kids. I think this is just the lack of parenting.
Something they theorize.
Is that what you just said?
That's just what I said. If your child doesn't know what a French fry is, it's a potato, then you are not doing very well.
Actually, I was going to say, Nikki, because you said maybe kids just aren't ready to know that food is death. But French fries...
Well, yes, French fries.
Why would the kids not know that French fries come from vegetables?
It's
The
very
parents.
well known that a lot of that stuff is cooked in beef oil sort of thing. So it's death
Lard or
also.
whatever.
That's right. That's right. So they're not far off.
Well, they did theorize, the researchers that did this study, they theorized that maybe for children, the way we relay the information to them still doesn't get where they don't get it. Where if you say, for example, that hamburgers come from cows, maybe kids think that cows cook the hamburgers for some reason.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, don't ruin that.
I just think that we don't know how to communicate with these things. These children.
Yeah.
I don't think we know how to communicate with them. We need to do it in a different way because clearly they are not recepting to
I
what
need
we're
to talk
saying
to your
them.
mom because I think you were probably right around this.
She's like, you're like, you were one of them. You're one of them.
I bet you thought potatoes were
Yeah.
a tree.
A fruit.
I wonder. Aw, it's sweet.
That's true. Isaiah thought,
Oysters.
how do we not tie this all in? Yeah, the oysters are trees.
You didn't even
They
know
are.
oysters were alive.
Yeah.
No, what I said, yet again, is accurate.
But I was telling you that I think it's the sweetness where they just don't know.
Yeah.
And no one
They
needs
just-
to
yeah.
ruin
But
that.
no, we do. Maybe. Okay, think about this. Nikki,
But
used to be.
go do that.
No,
Why
listen,
don't you,
You
Hudson?
used to
break
be
it
a
to them.
vegan, right?
Yes.
And because you don't want to hurt animals,
I don't
do
want
you?
to.
So maybe if we started getting kids, helping them understand from an early age, listen, kid, when you eat a chicken nugget, That's not coming from a dinosaur that died 100 years ago, and that's why it's shaped like that. It's also not coming from plants.
Hey,
this is coming from chickens that are kept in a cage.
Why
They can barely move, and just so you can get your jollies eating a little nugget.
Why don't you do that? And you bring your phone along and show them a YouTube video of what it looks like.
This
and
is where your McDonald's nuggets come from.
You be the strange man.
You make them cry.
How many kids, though? I also feel that if you show, maybe this would be mostly little boys because I know they're crazy. You show them the chicken's getting slaughtered, they'd be like, cool, and they wouldn't even be upset about it. So
I guess it'd be probably more sad that a potato is not meat. And a potato is the plant. That was the plant all along.
Hey, for some people, maybe a potato does count as meat. I don't know.
I don't know what people, but children, I guess.
Well, when you load it up with a baked potato, you get all kinds of bacon on it. It might as well be meat.
Let's just be nice and just, be simple about it, all right? Don't ruin it and don't be mean.
One day, maybe all these foods will be plant-based. That's the future we are hoping for, apparently.
Not my future.
According to McDonald's.
Not my future.
That's what McDonald's wants.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, have you ever heard of micro-cheating?
I wonder. I don't think I have, but maybe once you say it, then I'll recognize what it is.
To me, it sounds like something maybe a Larry David style character, like from Curb Your Enthusiasm, would say if they get caught like kind of cheating with somebody and they go, no, it's just a micro cheat. It was a micro cheat. And trying to get out of being caught by his significant other.
It does feel like a term like to minimize what someone has done when really it's still cheating.
Where it's actually very detrimental. But I don't know. The term makes, because it is smaller than cheating in a way. So that's what the term is getting at. But I also feel like it almost means you can just wave it away because it was just a micro cheat. But it's not micro. It is anything where, there's probably a very clear line when it comes to physically cheating on somebody you're going out with, you're together with, or even emotionally, there's a pretty clear line. But the micro cheating is stuff that's kind of in the more blurry area of it's tough to define, but a psychotherapy clinician named Hannah Paul, she says it's almost cheating or basically doing something with somebody else where you don't think you're crossing the line, but it's also something you wouldn't want to tell your current partner about.
Is it more in the digital world, though?
Yes, very much so.
I see.
Well, it can be digital or, here are some good examples of it. Concealing email exchanges or like messages with somebody or texts, hiding them in some way. So you're talking to somebody, you don't want your partner to know about it, but you're also like, it's not cheating, we're just talking, but if you're hiding it, it probably means that that's emotionally cheating, even if you don't really register it as that. Also, another idea would be like if you're just constantly going over somebody else's social media, like obsessing over it or commenting on stuff. You have to take a good look in the mirror and think, why am I doing this?
Oh, they say that it could also stem from like really a feeling of loneliness that you might have. And that even if you're not in a relationship, I guess it would probably still work that your loneliness, then you attach on to people in the digital world where you might not want to have that sort of attachment. Yeah. Especially if you are with someone.
Actually, that's a great point. Well, it makes me think of another thing. Your point makes me think of another point. And that is...
Point away.
Yeah. That is that... we always think of cheating as, well, it's you and your partner, but then it's you and somebody else, and that's what's cheating. But I feel that with this micro cheating, this could actually be really one-sided, where it's just you that's doing it, or it just, I guess, of course, your partner could do it as well. Anybody could do it, but this is, you're still cheating even if the other person that would be not the cheatee, but the object of affection. Yeah, the object of affection doesn't have to interact with you at all. Yeah. But if you're just stalking their social media, that's still really cheating. And the point is, like they defined at the beginning, if you're doing something that you wouldn't want your partner to know about, whether it's technically crossing a clear line or not, then that probably means you just shouldn't be doing it. And that can be hard to keep to. But I think what we're encouraging you to do here, Nikki and I, as relationship experts, is to, if you find yourself doing some of these things,
be aware.
Take a look at yourself and think, why am I doing this?
Sure.
And how can I, what do I need to do? What is it about my relationship that needs to change? Because, sometimes if you're talking to other people and it doesn't have to be an emotional affair type thing, but you could be talking to other people and then maybe that just makes you realize, well, the relationship you're in is too restrictive or something. You know what I mean? Like you could even be, how do you want to phrase this? You could be micro cheating. And it doesn't mean that, that it's all bad on your end.
Sure.
Because maybe your relationship that you're in is just not working out. But it's all questions you need to ask instead of, like, micro cheating is still going to hurt somebody in the end.
Well, now
so
you know
you
the
need to
term.
Figure it all out. Yeah.
Yeah. Or they just say it's everywhere.
Yeah. Basically, we're telling you nothing. All of this to say.
Thanks, Hudson.
Yeah.
Hey, how about just be aware?
I just thought it was interesting, but I also feel like it's not a one size fits all. It's like, well, if you're micro cheating, stop and be faithful. Maybe you're just dating somebody you shouldn't be dating. I don't know.
Thank you, Hudson, for all this advice.
Yeah. The end.
If you're looking for hot takes on the day's most important news stories, you're in the wrong place. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Isaiah, is there something you'd like to share with the class?
I would. You guys aren't going to like this because I hate calling people out on there. I hate it. For those of you who don't know, like me, Nikki, and Hudson, like I like to think of us as friends. We spend every morning together. I've been here for nearly 4 hours, and I've never felt a betrayal. I've been hoodwinked. I've been backstabbed. It's a scooter to the ankle, kicked in the shin. I've seen you guys a formidable amount this morning, I'd say, just like every morning. And for those of you who like to go to RadioU Riot on Facebook and you like to watch the videos, you'll be very happy to know that my beautiful face has returned. I no longer have a mustache, and not a single person said a thing, said one thing, even noticed. I said on Friday, I said, just don't disrespect the mustache. It's almost like it was never even there.
I didn't even notice.
No one even saw. Not even a second look.
That's because we're looking at your heart.
I know.
Not your face.
I've noticed that no one seems to look at me in the mornings now. I can come. I don't even know if it needs to be me. I could send my brother in. They may not even notice.
I don't know. What does your brother look like?
Exactly like me.
You're probably right.
Isaiah didn't want to do No Shave November, and then you took your beard down really quickly to a mustache.
Yeah.
But the thing is, to me, you still have a mustache.
No,
it's
a little bit of stubble there.
There's like a stubble there.
A little bit of a shadow.
The old mustache, it was so prominent.
It really wasn't. That's the
it
problem.
wasn't. That was the disgrace. That's why I had to let it go. On Saturday, I decided that it's run its course.
You were done with it?
When you're trying something, at some point you're like, it's never going to look better than it does right now, and right now it doesn't look good.
Well, you should have still given it the whole month.
Yeah.
I went 2 weeks in, and I was like, you know what? I've looked disgusting long enough. I know there's no more ups for me. There's not like another level where I come in one day and you're like, whoa, looking good. Like, we never would have reached that point.
Actually, to be 100% honest with you, I think you do look better without a mustache.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
I think so too.
I hope so. I hope so.
I wish it would have come in fully.
I know, me too.
Actually, I didn't realize it had been 2 whole weeks. So yeah. If that's where it was at 2 weeks, you're probably right to do so.
It's run its course. I gave it a fair shot. 2 weeks was long enough, and I gave it a go, but it is now gone.
Well, goodbye to Isaiah's mustache.
Yeah.
We hardly knew you.
Clearly, they hardly even noticed.
We hardly noticed you.
I do feel bad about not mentioning it, but also how many
can't
times
help but see it.
How many times have you gotten your hair cut since you started working here?
Oh, multiple.
And how many times has anybody mentioned it?
I got my hair dyed on Friday. None of you guys noticed that.
Well, that makes us even, Nikki.
All right, so you and I are even.
Yeah, Hudson on the other end, backstabbed, betrayal. I've been hoodwinked into cooking the shin.
You're right, it does hurt.
Yeah, I don't know what I did to try to make this even, but
like I also have had some work done recently.
You guys, you just don't understand. For me, I don't know if you guys are like this, but unless I have a picture of you side by side from what you looked like, I'm not going to notice.
We won't even know.
I am not. You could come in with a full beard, and I'd be
You
like,
wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't even pay attention. I'd be like, yep, that's what he's always
Isaiah's
looked
here.
like.
Well, the mustache is gone, and I promise we're gonna do better next time.
Gonna have to be more.
I guess we'll see.
attentive.
I guess
Need to
we
come
will
in and
see.
be like,
Oh, look here, boys and girls.
notice
Surprise.
anything?
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot. This show only exists because of support from listeners like you. Find out more and help out at radiou.com/donate.